Greetings, fellow Toriyama fans. Blue Dragon 5 here.
And Jacob Weil.
To pay tribute to the master of manga, Akira Toriyama, and celebrate 40 years of Dragon Ball proper, we're going through the animated saga, that is Dragon Ball, to get back in touch with our anime roots as we begin our journey into Dragon Ball.
Previously on Journey into Dragon Ball, Goku, with the help of fortune teller Baba and the Dragon Balls, revived Upa's father, Bora. Master Roshi, believing there is nothing left to teach Goku, tells him to travel the world and let life itself be his teacher. And so, Goku sets off on foot for a 3-year journey, promising to reunite with his friends once again at the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, folks.
2-2, baby, we're there.
The 22nd. Oh, yeah. And
so this is big. We're at our second World Martial Arts Tournament.
Out of 3 that we see in the original series.
We're halfway there.
True. Remember, we are halfway there. So yeah, this one proves to be quite in a lot of ways more interesting than the first one.
Indeed.
So, Dragon, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so in general, with Dragon Ball, I mean, honestly, it's across the whole franchise, but I mean, especially with classic Dragon Ball, I live for the World Martial Arts tournaments. I really do. I mean, I'm tuned in. I'm on the edge of my seat. There's definitely an effort here at the top. The 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. We build up to Goku versus Tien Shinhan. I got to admit. So looking back on this, let me give you a bit of like just kind of my nostalgia here. So I remember like. While the Fortune Baba VHS tapes were kind of the last physical media I bought for like Dragon Ball specific, before eventually I'd get the Z and everything. But I mean, just with classic Dragon Ball, and I'd mentioned like there was like the matinee DVD and VHS store in like one of them in the mall where I basically got it was my fix and kind of where I was able to get both. I was reunited with Batman the Animated Series, and in the interim before that, I had Dragon Ball. Very meaningful location in my life.
Yeah, you've told that story quite a couple times.
So I believe, and I can't remember the specifics here, but I remember because at the tail end of Bob, because it bleeds into it. We in our coverage we opted to basically cover the filler here versus technically as like an epilogue to Baba, because we just felt like, as you saw, Jacob, it kind of very much it ties into what we ultimately get here, so it felt kind of appropriate to kind of start off with it,
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it did. You made a good call on that one.
Regardless, as a kid, the idea, it was so simple, so surface level, mind you. So the idea like Goku's in a new outfit and he's going on an adventure and we're introducing a new character. Like these events like captivate me. So I think I hunted down like the VHS tape of the filler. So it was big because the rest of it, if memory serves, I don't know if it was like somehow I whether I taped it or I'm pretty sure at this point I sought out the VHS tape and I wasn't taping him at this point. I just because I taped the first Saga because that was like
13 episodes.
Yeah, it was 13 episodes. It was like airing on the regular, so that was much easier. And then basically that until the World Martial Arts Tournament. I think that's what I was taping on VHS, and then I ran into the video store in which I could actually procure these legally.
Yeah.
The point being, just Goku in like shoes, ninja outfit, just kind of training. It always looked really interesting, and like the box art, like the image that always ingrained in me, and like for seeking it out and just wanting to know or like tracking it down was like the Inashikacho arc, like that episode, that is always like Goku in the outfit fighting this giant demonic looking pig thing, and then we have Tien. Like that was like it's like on the back of the VHS or the front of the VHS. It was like, see, they have like the little windows, like little pictures of each episode on the back of the tapes and the DVDs. And on the front, you had like one piece of art, and I forget if it was on the front or not, but I'm sure someone could look that up if they really wanted to. But the point being, I I was very vested in the fact that, oh my god, it's building to another world martial arts tournament. I'm still head over heels for that first one. So this was big for me. This was like honestly, possibly the most hyped I ever was for a Dragon Ball, saga in the entirety, in terms of like knowing it's coming and like being actually hyped for it. Like I got to know what happens.
All right.
Like obviously it builds from there into other events that happen, but this was like okay, you know what to expect. This is the first time we had like legit expectations going into Dragon Ball, so it was a big event for me. Anyway, um, so the point being, looking back on it, we have three very different world martial arts tournaments, and we'll get into the third one obviously at some point, but these are pillars. These are huge pillars in Goku's journey. Pillars that Tao would ride on. No, I'm kidding. Pillars in Goku's journey. So there is, there's a safety, there's an expectation, and Toriyama kind of pushed that. He subverted. Like you could really phone in the World Martial Arts Tournament if you wanted to, and we didn't do that here. We really pushed it. We tried making it feel a little different. That's not to say we don't have some stumbling blocks here and there, which we'll get into, but it's again ends so tragically, which again, it's just, I don't think anyone saw coming. This is a huge kind of milestone for Goku's character. I will say this in comparison to the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament. I don't think it's as well paced. I think there is an advantage to it's the first time, and we can keep like it is a very lean. It's possibly the leanest, most well like strategized saga, the arc that Toriyama did, quite possibly, in terms of he knew exactly what he was doing, he knew what he was building to. It just felt, and it has like a little bit of everything. We have the gag manga humor, we have the stakes, and we have just kind of the fun martial arts. And this was like the second really big arc that we did that wasn't just the adventure going around the globe. We went against formula. The 21st, we'll see how the 23rd stacks up, but because the 23rd, we'll get to it. I think is a great combination of the first two, but we'll get there. So I feel it's not as well paced, and there's a lot more filler here than there was in the 21st. But that said, the battles are bigger. They're more tense. There's a really strong arc with Tien and Master Roshi that balances things out that we didn't quite have in the 21st. So there's a lot of advantages we have here, and there's a lot of stakes, and there's a lot to tune in for. But it's I don't know. I mean, we are just very well paced on the 21st. I don't know, but this is still a big event. I did have a lot of fun going back to it. How did you feel about it, Jacob? What say you, newbie?
You mean about the arc as a whole, or how it like compares to the 21st?
Well, I mean, I guess both. But let's start with like how you felt about it. Period.
Well, I guess I was kind of excited for the tournament, especially considering how well that 21st one went. The 21st one was like it's like some of the best fight scenes in the franchise, even beating some of the overly spectacular ones you see in later installments of the show. Mainly because of just how like instead of just like there wasn't all these kinds of like beams and energy blasts, things like that. Just just pure martial arts people being like fighting each other hand to hand. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like so. It was nice so it's kind of interesting to see how this would go. I mean, obviously they introduced more of those kinds of concepts here, and even though Dragon, you did mention that there was Fortune Teller Baba's Saga was like the last breaths of the gag manga. There were still elements of that here. There were still some gag manga elements left over here, which I did notice. I mean, they weren't as prevalent.
But you'll notice very few. I
mean, what I'm saying is like they weren't as prevalent as they were from the get-go, but they were still there.
They're running off though. We're ramping down on the gag manga humor though.
Yep, I know. I'm considering the next arc after this. I can kind of see. I'm definitely seeing what you mean. But so yeah, and then of course we meet Tien, who is barely in Z, so who's barely in what I saw of Z because he was I did the Kai cut when I first watched it, and he was
That's a travesty, by the way, that we disservice Tien Shinhan a lot in Dragon Ball Z. It's again because we're introducing the characters like Vegeta and everything. We just don't have the room anymore.
yeah, like I said, the Kai cut we didn't really see much. So seeing him, but I was familiar with him in Chiaotzu. But I didn't actually know I didn't know their journey or where they come from, and I didn't even know that he started off as the way he started off.
It's pretty great, right?
It is, yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, Tien had a really good arc that admittedly kind of peters out after the Saiyan saga, but he has a really good arc in Dragon Ball.
Well, I can't wait to see how it actually plays out for real this time.
Oh, it's going to get even better, Jacob. Trust me.
But so it's like, I mean, the highlight of it was definitely was Tien. The highlight of this arc, I would probably say, is Tien's growth.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Seeing the tournament, seeing the fights, and even seeing Goku go up against all these fighters was cool. But seeing Tien change from the beginning of the arc to who he became at the end probably was like the biggest highlight for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do kind of share Dragon's sentiments that I do that. The first one probably was more exciting, but this one was and tighter pace. But this one was more tense.
And again, it's not the fault of this. It's just the fault of it's the first time you fall in love kind of a thing,
Yeah, I mean, I think there were more fights in this that we see in this one than we do in that one.
Well, remember, all the fights are extended in this arc. That's the difference. That's a difference.
Except for the fight against Goku and Jackie Chun in the first one, which lasted 3 episodes.
That's what I'm saying. That was 3 episodes. The Tien fight's 5 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we extended all the fights in this. Pretty much all the fights except our gag manga fight, which we'll get into. Which was
yep. But like I said, I will say I still really enjoyed this arc though, nonetheless.
All right. Okay, so I guess just to get into it. So for starters, we just but in an all-encompassing kind of way. So let's talk about the filler that kind of starts us off here. So we left off the Baba Saga where Goku is he's been tasked by Master Roshi to train for basically it's 3 years because they kind of continue this idea that because the tournament has become so popular after the Goku Jackie Chun fight. They lowered it from 5 years to 3 years, so that's why it's 3 years from that point forward. Goku kind of lucked into the tournament, kind of happening when it happened the first time. I think it used to be 5 years, but they just kind of lucked into it, and then afterwards, because of the popularity spike, it's been 3 years. Anyway, so he's training for 3 years and without the Nimbus, and I love the detail that Master Roshi's completely forgot that he told him to not use the Nimbus, which is just really on brand.
And the fact that Goku takes it almost way too literally. To even get to the Papaya Island is just it's like you told me not to use the Nimbus.
Love it.
It's like Goku. You probably could have gone to the island, but I think he would have forgiven you for that.
That's what I'm saying. You've reached the end you're going to the tournament, so you could have used the Nimbus, but still, it's all part of the training, though.
But it did provide a good intro to an episode where he was swimming in the ocean and stopped next to a friggin' battleship. It's can you point me to Papaya Island? But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves with that one.
All right. So point being, the filler at the top here. I want to be clear. So again, mind you, my hype was all about this filler. So I do have a great fondness for the filler. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, fundamentally, the reason we have a part of the reason we have to cover the filler is just because I have such an attachment to the kind of stuff we have here. But these are good, like fun episodes with Goku. We don't need them at all, but they're a lot of fun.
Were they even in the manga?
Well, that's the thing. No, they're not in the manga. That's the point.
So it's like so the whole thing with the princess and all that and
Yeah.
the demon that was completely made up.
Completely made up.
Oh, nice.
That's what I'm saying. So it points to the anime and the reason, like, we should cover these kind of things, where they're not necessary, but they are fun misadventures. And what we're able to do with them is we do explain some of the moments in the World Martial Arts Tournament where Goku learns certain techniques, and we have an origin point for them, like the upgraded version of the afterimage technique. We see where that comes from.
And it also, I just love how the series just doesn't explain how his tail doesn't grow, how his tail just grew back automatically. It's it's a good thing my tail's back.
Yeah, well, it grew back the other time too in the Giran fight. So
I know, but they made a whole big deal about it with that one. But here it's just like, yep, it's back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I kind of like the fight against the kind of did like the whole confrontation against the Demon King.
Yeah, so I'm just going to bullet point some of these here so to kind of cover it all here. So we have Plague and Terror with the magical gourd.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of a Goku versus town bullies kind of a story, kind of a Western sort of idea.
Definitely also not a part of the manga, I'm guessing.
No, none of the filler. None of the filler.
None of the filler.
None of the opening filler is part of the manga.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
It's great though, but yeah, you're right. It's pure to the anime. Let's see. So we learn. Okay, so we have Plague and Terror. We have Princess Misa in the Demon Land. Basically, we go into the Demon Land to save the princess, and this is kind of getting into kind of our other world and kind of the let's just say Goku in otherworldly situations, which we may see in some filler in later on in Dragon Ball.
Like one of my, I love one of the lines that said like, I think the demon say, "You must be brave or stupid to come here." I'm neither of those guys. I'm Goku.
Yeah, so the Demon King was Shula. Well, not the Demon King. We know who the real Demon King is, but this guy, Shula, of the Demon World.
Yeah, he's not the real Demon King.
Yeah, we know who the real Demon King is.
Yes.
But so Shula's the guy you're talking about. So he fights Shula, he takes him out.
Pretty easily.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So then so big one. Okay, this is, again, the whole reason. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. I skipped one, sorry. Master Chin was another favorite. I really loved the Master Chin one. So Master Chin was this martial arts he wanted to challenge when he's kind of passing through town, and the idea is that Goku learned restraint from this guy. We had this really impressive scene where Goku he promised not to fight the rivals until like the little kind of town tournament that was going on. And he took a beating, but again he took it because he was true to his word, and again he was kind of learning restraint in combat. And it was a really good, and that's where he got the upgrade after image technique from. So the little thing with Master Chin was nice.
And also kind of shows his battle strength.
Also, I believe I don't know it's the first appearance of this voice actor, but the voice actor for Young Trunks appears in this episode.
Nice.
Yeah, he is the Jin's son.
Cool.
The one that gives Goku food poisoning.
Yeah, and that's why he.
Yeah. Anyway, so now the big one. Okay, the reason I can never discount the filler. So the unofficial introduction of Tien Shinhan. So the manga is just pretty much introduced at the tournament, and I want to say we do kind of the recap on the Crane School, just like when Master Shen shows up, and then Master Roshi probably has like a line or something. That's how the manga goes. So in a Shikacho. So we set up very conveniently, mind you, it's filler after all. They basically have to stall until they can get to the chapters that fully adapt the manga. That's the whole concept behind filler. They have to stall the pacing when they adapt the anime.
I mean, the thing is with the Inoshika episode, it just felt so natural that I didn't even know it would be considered filler.
Yeah, I know. I love the Inoshika thing because one, I think it's a good moral where Goku is going up against martial artists without a code, and they're very much just kind of like they're running a con. And we introduce he has a baseline on Tien, and we kind of show they've had an encounter which kind of builds something up there, which is really nice. And we also so we learn that Master Roshi has a rival that used to be friends, that they both studied, presumably they both studied under Master Mutaido. I'm butchering his name right now, but
Mutaido.
Mutaido, yeah. So we will meet him soon. Not yet, but so they both studied under him. They were friends. They basically, it was kind of like the whole Gohan the Ox King. That was kind of the idea. Only Shen, he kind of went a dirtier path, and he kind of that caused the rift there. And Shen had a little kind of this monster pig pet that then grew into the giant Inashikacho.
Fun, fun fact: Do you know the what the name Inoshikacho comes from?
Was it just a combination of animals?
Yep, Ino Ino comes from the word Inoshishi, which means boar.
Yep.
Shika means deer,
Check.
and Cho means butterfly.
There we go. The butterfly one was always my favorite detail. They have these little tiny, they have these little Heimlich the caterpillar butterfly wings.
Yep, I'm a pretty butterfly.
Yep.
But
I'm a
yep.
beautiful butterfly.
Anyway, so yeah, that was funny.
Anyway, so it's a nice thing where Goku kind of calls this out, and it shows you again Chiaotzu does look at this thing as a pet. So we see there is Chiaotzu very much is the angel on Tien's shoulder here. It's like he's the angel, and Shen is like the devil on his shoulder here, in which he's been misled. Like Tien seems very much like a threat to Goku, and like a big jerk initially, where like he sets Inashikacho on fire, even though like he's just an animal going on a rampage through no fault of its own. It's not like an evil monster or anything. He's just been trained to do this. It's like a con, and Tien burns it,
which Tien was actually in on. Like they were conning the people out of their money.
Yeah, exactly. And just Tien is like basically like burning him as a point of like. He knows that Goku's gonna be much nicer, and he's gonna like save this thing. The moment he does, we're gonna like turn we're gonna protect our Khan and turn everyone against Goku. He saved the monster. He's in league with the monster.
Yeah, which was just kind of just like Goku did nothing to prove to them that he was in league with the monster.
Yep. All he did was not treat it like a jerk.
Pretty much. But then, fortunately, the other village who he actually saved came to basically reveal the truth.
Yep, they vouched for him, and they proved it. And I tell you, but rewatching it, I still think the most adorable, hilarious bit in this filler is like Inashikacho's like, sorry, like the monster voice. Just like, it's like, Inashikacho, say you're sorry.
Sorry.
And then he's like helping the village out. He's like serving the town. It's adorable.
He's like basically helping them with their crops.
Yeah.
But like I said, that would really fit right in with the manga. I thought that would have been part of the manga, to be honest.
Yeah. So last,
I mean that seems like something Toriyama would come up with.
It does. Again, yeah, you do have to wonder how much involvement Toriyama has in the anime, because it is his characters and everything. They're trying to be in service of him, and I mean, I like to think Toriyama does have some involvement in the anime. I can never nail down quite how much involvement he does. Because clearly he's got to permit things and sign off on things, but like Toriyama feels very much like he's very kind of blasé about it. All right, fine, they're going to do whatever they're going to do with it. At least the main story is being adapted, so it's there.
I mean, that's the thing with a lot of manga creators whose anime adaptations overtake the manga.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a thing that's just common to Toriyama.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure how the whole licensing thing works over there for mangas to anime, that kind of thing. I know it's quite stringent almost.
Yeah.
But at least in later animes like Super and Daima, Toriyama did have direct involvement with those.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That much we do know. Is everything pre that we're not entirely sure on like what makes how the filler really works out at the end of the day. Plus, I mean, GT is a whole nother ball of wax too.
I mean, he basically signed off on it but had no involvement in it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's a question of how much of the process is like GT in that regard, as far as like the filler goes.
Basically, he signed up on the concept and gave it its name.
Yeah. All right, so then the last bit of filler that we have is Goku befriends this con artist fox, Kenichi.
Yeah, calls him brother.
Yep, come on, brother.
Come on, brother.
Yeah, basically, what if Goku met Rocket Raccoon? That's kind of, or I guess probably Nick Wilde more so, but it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like Nick Wilde with kind of a Rocket Raccoon kind of vibe.
Kind of, yeah, I guess.
Anyway, so this is where we bring back Baba.
see Baba again, and she actually helped Goku for free.
Yeah, which is not. I like that she takes a genuine liking to Goku,
Yep.
which I still find so funny, given that the voice of Baba is also Frieza.
In the same exact dub.
I mean, I think I forget which permutation like she takes. Linda Young, I think is the voice of Frieza and Baba, but I forget which. I think it's the '90s interpretation. I think that's the one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, good. All right.
You got
I'm
to
not.
remember, like the dub for Dragon Ball. Sorry, the
I,
dub for Dragon Ball Z gets a little tricky because there was a thing where Funimation didn't do the initial dub and then they went back and did it, so it's kind of hard to say definitively. Like later on, they stuck with who they had, so then
and technically, that was dubbed before this.
yeah, and that explains how we have. Well, we'll get there when we get there, but yeah.
Because they dubbed Z before they got the original Dragon Ball.
Which always throws me for a loop, by the way, because again, like I'm going chronologically in my exposure to how the story goes, and yet,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
And
so
technically, Funimation also wasn't the first one to dub it into English.
I know. I think that's the whole pioneer. That's what I'm saying. Pioneer is like where the Funimation thing gets murky. Where
I mean,
pi-
Pioneer, Ocean.
yeah, Pioneer, Ocean, and then it's a whole.
There's
Yeah,
like three.
I think Pioneer isn't Pioneer technically Ocean.
Like I'm not sure. Maybe it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. I did like a whole bunch of I did all this dub research a while back, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because I had the Pioneer DVDs of the early Dragon Ball, and anyway. I don't want to bore the folks here. All
and
semantics.
basically, Funimation was not the first one to get into it, but they're probably
They did it best.
Yes, they did it the best.
Oh yeah.
Like Sarah Nadolny was not even the first or even like the fifth Kid Goku.
Stephanie Nadolny.
Stephanie Nadolny, right?
Yep, there you go.
I keep saying Sarah for some reason.
I don't know why.
I think I'm confusing her with somebody else.
Probably. Okay, so point being, we have the tension of will Goku register in time? He swims across the world. We have we have like the loin again. His new clothes get destroyed, so basically turns like a tiger into a loincloth.
Yep, that was funny.
So we have now here's what I'm saying. So on one side of it, we have like all of our Goku filler. I think is tremendously on point. But that said, Master Roshi, we have some padding here. Master Roshi's like he just randomly hates to travel, and like, he's not even like getting pervy on the plane. It's just literally just like, I want this plane to land now.
Yeah, it doesn't really make that much sense.
Yeah, it's just again they're killing time, Jake. That's the thing. It's purely padding and filler. Like that, like by definition, that's filler.
I mean, they could have at least given something to it.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought he was going in a direction if he's making this fuss to bring the stewardess to him to then
Yeah, but
do what he does.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah. We have like random gags where everyone's just kind of embarrassed by Roshi like showing up late or something. It's like they didn't really do anything like to embarrass them. It just feels kind of like, okay, we're just killing time. But also, let's note the two big things here to note. First time we see Bulma with the short haircut.
Yep.
It's a first, which she technically doesn't kind of redon until Dragon Ball Z. So we see it introduced here, and then we keep it for like the next saga. The point being, until she really does like a big reintroduction of Bulma, she doesn't have this hair for a while. And launch, and for some reason the turtle joined them at the tournament this time.
Which is nice.
It is nice to see Launch there, and
I mean,
I know you pointed out last time, like it's a shame that Launch didn't go. So how do you feel about this? We have Launch now.
Yep, and it is nice to see even Mean Launch being supportive of them.
Yeah,
it's like we have actually seen more of Mean Launch now than we have Nice Launch.
Yep. My favorite. I really love. We seed it here, and we're going to see it maybe flourish. Just the hair. We don't do enough. They don't do as much of it as I would have liked in the grand scheme of both shows. But you'll notice at the tail end of this, Launch, blonde Launch, she's got a crush on Tien.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's adorable.
I did see that. It's like It's like ooh, the way she's just all acting, all like it's like, look, I know you like me.
Yep.
and Tien's like, what? It's like he doesn't even know who she
Oh
is.
my god, it's so freaking adorable.
It was.
Oh god.
Too bad. Nothing ever comes of it.
We'll do a little. There's some bits here and there, but just enjoy them while we have them because eventually we're gonna,
Basically, forget that launch even
That's what I'm
exists.
saying. When we forget launch exists, it kind of goes by the wayside, as you'd imagine. But every time when we have launch and Tien in the same space, we do stuff,
It's nice.
which is nice.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. All right, anyway, so okay, so we have an interest. Now, this is interesting. So on the surface level, so we have a feast before the tournament at the start of the.
Which the announcer points out because Goku's going to be hungry.
Well, yeah, but I mean before that, like right after Goku registers the last second, they go out to eat, and then basically there's food throughout the tournament thanks to the announcer.
Yeah, because he knows Goku's going to be hungry.
Exactly. So the feast on the surface level just seems like okay. Well, we had like one of the best parts of the seriously one of the best Goku scenes from the World Martial Arts Tournament was the ending where he ate 57 full course meals.
Yeah, and then like basically took away all of Jackie Chun's winnings.
Yep, pretty much all the prize money.
Yep.
He had a very little bit left, but pretty much all the prize money.
Which they do kind of bring up again at the end of this arc.
Yeah.
It's like, looks like you'll be spending that prize money after all.
Yep.
Well, spending half of it anyway.
Yep. So, the point being, so on surface level, it just seems like okay, we're calling back a joke, but you're thinking, why would we be doing it now? And again, it's a little bit of a foreshadow to we want to get the food comedy in early because we're not going to be able to do it later because something bad's going to happen. Again, you've been lulled into a false sense of security in the old familiar places,
Oh yeah.
which I thought was really clever in re-experiencing. Like, oh my god, that's why we do it early.
Because things are about to get real.
Yeah, like for the first time ever, Goku's not going to be hungry, and that's a first ever.
There is one thing he's hungry for.
Revenge.
Yes, revenge.
Okay, anyway, so the qualifying rounds, the preliminaries. So we basically check in on the skills and we check in on the skills of our turtle of the turtle hermit school. Yamcha Yamcha is now officially wearing the colors. He's officially wearing the symbol of the turtle.
Yeah, he's definitely improved.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we have like kind of some fun there, and then we reintroduce Tien, and he sparks up quite the rivalry with Yamcha.
Yeah, but Goku remembers him as the people who scammed the village.
Yeah. So speaking of rivalries, we also have Chiaotzu making fun of Krillin. It's a fun runner.
Yeah, it's like Baldy.
Yeah, makes fun of his height, makes fun of he's like, well, you're one that talking. He pulls he's like the alpha one hair.
It's like one's better than none.
This is still I have no good every time I lovingly think back to Tien Shinhan and his friendship with Chiaotzu. At the moment I always think of is Chiaotzu, stop, enough of that, you'll catch cold. He puts the hat on him.
There's an early sign of Tien's softer side in his conscience.
The key, Tien has a soft spot for Chiaotzu. Chiaotzu's like the little brother to him. Is like that is like that's the one weakness that he truly has.
Yep.
Again, it's his Krillin. It's Goku and Krillin's kind of dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's a little bit more older brother, little brother kind of, but yeah. All right, so in our fights here, we check in with everybody's skill here, and then we have Goku versus King Choppa. So Jacob, file away King. Well, you already know, never mind. But King Choppa clearly, he's one to remember.
Yeah, basically he's hyped up to be like he's never lost a fight that he's ever been in.
He's never been touched in a fight either. No one's ever landed a punch on him. And Goku again. So this is the second time Goku's faced a winner of the World Martial Arts Tournament because remember he took on Devilman. So
And Goku takes him out with one punch.
Yep, and pretty much the same thing with Chop. Only he's a lot more dodging before he lands the hit.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So take out King Choppa here. So let's talk about Master Shen here. So Master Shen is voiced by Chuck. Is it Huber or Hubert?
No idea. I know it's the same guy who voices Pilaf, though.
Yeah. So the
I
voice.
mean, it took me a while to realize. It took me a couple episodes to realize, like, wait, that's Emperor Pilaf.
He was also the king in the Demon Land story with Princess Misa. That's also him.
Yep. Chuck Huber.
Also Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
And apparently also Shu.
Yeah, that's him.
Well, Mr. Shu.
Yeah.
As in, like, the teacher, apparently. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, not Mr. Shu, Mr. Chen. Master Chen.
No, yep. I'm just saying he voices a character named Mr. Shu, who apparently the tutor for Gohan.
Oh wait! Oh, sorry, Jacob. You were right in saying Mr. Shu. I was thought for a moment you said.
I know it is kind of confusing.
Sorry, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a great filler episode in Dragon Ball Z where he's like the bully tutor to Gohan, which clearly he doesn't need, but Chi-Chi thinks that he needed, and he was being really nasty to him. So it was they brought him back for that. Master Chin is Chris Sabat. Let me get that in there. So that's actually Chris Sabat as like Master Chin earlier on.
And he apparently also voices Android 17 and 13.
Well, I was going to hold off on that, but yes.
So I'm sorry.
Regardless, point being, great actor.
Yep.
Chuck Huber. And it's basically the Master Shen is always a fun part of the story. Now he's basically, what if Master Roshi was just a big jerk in a silly hat instead of being like a good master who happens to be pervy, but he's still a good master. He's a good person despite
Yep.
having inclinations. Anyway, so the moral of the arc is basically that Tien and Chiaotzu's villainy is not their bad deeds. It's not a reflection on them being bad people. It's them it's the whole there are no bad students, there's only bad teachers. It's essentially what the moral is that Toriyama's trying to convey here, and Master Shen is the demonstration of that.
And a lot of the Tien's thing here is like it's less trying to convince others that he's a killer. He's trying to convince himself that he is.
Exactly, and because he's studying he's being taught like top tier martial arts by killers, though. So again, it's making him very tough, very formidable, but again, very wrong minded in the spirit of which he should take his martial arts. It's not very sporting.
Martial arts was never meant to be used for killing. Anyways, always used as a means for self defense.
Exactly, at least when done right.
Exactly.
And there's also again like Shen is just ethically corrupting Tien as well. Where again Tien was running a con. He's been doing bad things. Again, things that would suit kind of a mirthless assassin.
Almost like a mercenary kind of thing.
Very mercenary-esque. So that's the thing. So Roshi, again, as we establish here, and I bring this up with intent, is that Roshi may be a perv, but he helped Nam at the end of the martial arts tournament in a big way with the water. Like told him, hey, the water's free. Here's a little thing. Here's a capsule in which you can put all the water in.
Yeah. Versus
the Crane School, in which Tien is Tien mercilessly beats Nam to the point where this I completely forgot the significance. Here's the thing: I remember that we took out Nam, but I forgot just how brutal it was. In which Nam possibly can't ever fight again. He could basically it was damaged enough just to survive, but never fight again. And to Goku, we see in that moment Goku really runs out. There's this beautiful moment. They reconnected with Nam and says, "Oh yeah, my village is fine. I'm just doing this for fun."
Like Nam, it was nice. It was definitely nice to see Nam again.
Yeah, we love Nam.
He was great. And he was just doing this because he wanted to.
Yeah,
and how he was actually happy to see Goku again.
Yeah. So it was a really, really nice moment. Again, like Nam's fighting absolutely in the spirit Goku goes to the World Martial Arts Tournament for, just fighting for fun and to test his skills.
But then Tien basically ravages him.
Yes, and here's what I really love about this, like looking back on it for our purposes, is that the fact that we say that Tien like boasts that he probably won't ever fight again. This to Goku is a fate worse than death, which makes him really angry that he took away something that was really pure, that Nam was like excited to do. He took that away from him. The idea of like making someone unable to fight because you took it too far, like that disgusts Goku fundamentally to his core. So he's really upset about that.
Yep. And then, that was already compounded with the whole, obviously, anime exclusive thing of him already being a crook and a thief.
Yeah. So by the way, the one other thing with Master Shen, fun kind of reversal of Master Roshi is that when Launch tries to shoot the crap out of Master Shen, he catches all the bullets.
He's like, yep. That was like, holy crap.
Yeah, which is like, okay, he's which again, you always, admittedly, in anime, so often we do fan service gags in anime. You all, especially if you play them straight like we do in Dragon Ball, in which, okay, we can have our pervy moments so long as the character, the male character gets a comeuppance. And traditionally in anime, even if the male character happens to this completely understandably, completely by accident, we always have to slap him or something and yada yada. In this case, it's like
which is always kind of irks people when there's like, okay, he didn't deserve it.
exactly. It's always like, okay, yeah, come on, it wasn't his fault. Or like, come on, you maybe put on some clothes now and again. How was it his fault? Yeah, kind of.
I mean, a lot of the time, Master Roshi does deserve it. But
in Master Roshi, I'm saying in other cases, Master Roshi's case, it's well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, it'd obviously also be deserved if the sexes were reversed too.
Oh yeah, exactly. But rarely we don't ever see that, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm just saying it would also be warranted there too.
Yes, point being, catching the bullets, very refreshing. So then, okay, let's see. So we entered the main round. So Tien has Chiaotzu use his telekinetic abilities to pick the fights,
like,
which is a really interesting idea.
Oh, we forgot. Also, we didn't go over like Krillin's fight against Anton.
Well, I mean, it's not much there beyond.
I know. It's just kind of a because I just like, wait, is that supposed to be Andre the Giant?
That is absolutely supposed to be Andre.
And when I heard it, but the thing is, I asked that before they mentioned his name as Anton the Great or something. I was like, yep, that's Anton. That's Andre the Giant.
Yep.
So yeah. I just think it was kind of a fun homage.
No, it is for sure. We have our homages throughout Dragon Ball. Toriyama is a fan of parody.
Yep, as we've seen early on.
All right, so main rounds.
So Chiaotzu uses his wind powers to manipulate
telekinesis. He's using
telekinesis to manipulate the results of who fights who.
Speaking of which, this is like the other interesting thing about Tien and Chiaotzu is that we never really explain the origin of their special abilities, where you see like it's kind of like an enlightenment kind of a thing where Tien has 3 eyes and we never ever acknowledge how he has a 3rd eye.
Yep, he just does.
He just does. And Chiaotzu, he has mind abilities pretty much probably because of how he looks. He's just something otherworldly about him.
Keep in mind his name just means dumplings.
Yeah. Again, it's a food thing. Toriyama, he's very hungry when he writes.
I think
sorry, let me scratch that. Toriyama loves he's always it's like he goes shopping and then he writes. It's like he's basically making a shop. Maybe when he was writing, he was making a shopping list simultaneously.
Probably, I can see that.
Yeah.
I know Tien is a reference to his name is a reference to something too.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know what it is though. Off the top of my head, it's like probably a food thing. I don't know. Maybe Shinhan. Maybe if Tien isn't in, I think Tien might have something to do with eyes. It might be like a pun on 3 eyes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know Chiaotzu. I read that Chiaotzu means dumplings.
Well, yeah.
Like specifically like Chinese dumplings. That's like derives from the Chinese term Tien Shinhan, meaning fried rice.
Okay, there you go.
And Chiaotzu, Japanese translation of gyoza, which means dumpling. So rice and so fried rice and dumplings.
Yep, we're lucky Toriyama was hungry for those things when he wrote this story.
The names probably sound cooler in Japan, cooler in English than they do in Japanese. I'm guessing.
I think so.
I mean, who knows?
All right.
I mean, because to us it's like, oh, those names sound so cool. Then you go to and you learn Japanese, like, oh, this means dumplings or rice or shrimp.
Okay, so the first fight, Tien versus Yamcha.
It's like which Tien heavily underestimates Yamcha.
I love the misnomer that his big mistake in this tournament is that he presumed Yamcha was like the star student of the Turtle School.
He underestimated all of the opponents of the Turtle School.
Exactly. That was also fundamentally that was his mistake. But specifically at the end of this fight, he assumed like, okay, I got the tough one out of the way. We're fine now.
He's
So
like once he broke Yamcha's leg, which is very uncalled for, and basically spurred Goku even more.
my leg.
My leg. Sorry.
So yes, this is a battle of egos. You know, they had Yamcha's got a score to settle because of Nam getting injured. You know, these two guys have really been kind of getting in each other's faces, and we establish. We established kind of the danger and the kind of like the banter between them here, where like Yamcha puts up a good fight, but Tien ultimately has been toying with him. I love in the fight, we have this real menacing moment where like Shiatsu smiles and Tien laughs after Yamcha's had his fun, and he pulls it out there, and this motivates Yamcha to do his first ever Kamehameha wave.
which was definitely interesting to see.
Which is good, it just gets deflected, unfortunately.
Yeah, he deflects it straight back at him, which once again reinforces to us and to probably the people inside the fight as well, like this Tien guy is not messing around.
No. So then he again, like Yamcha's kind of defeated, and then Tien breaks the leg unnecessarily, and the fact that he makes a joke about it too. Oh, tough break. It's like, oh, Tien. The fact that we hate Tien. I say hate not a really aggressive, but again, he's like the villain you love to hate so much at the start. He's so menacing, and he's so like, oh man, Tien, how can you do these things?
Even the name of the episode is in English, anyways. Tien is a Yamcha's big break.
Yeah. Oh well. Yep.
Yep. Even the episode titles themselves are getting in on it.
So Tien and Yamcha, honestly, is through the series. Like they always have, kind of like they're again. Kind of, I want to say equals, but clearly Tien's always going to be stronger than Yamcha. Let's be frank. But still, it's the idea that they are kind of like the rivals in a sense there, where Yamcha's always trying to kind of top Tien, and they do kind of work on kind of improving themselves, and they kind of become kind of students together. So
yep.
Yeah.
That basically spurs Goku to want to fight Tien even more.
Yeah, he's going too far. He's hurting people unnecessarily. This is not the kind of stuff Goku abides.
It's like, yeah, but Tien is making special care not to actually kill anyone in this match.
If he kills anyone, he gets disqualified, which he does not want.
He wants to win, basically not get them to almost close to death.
Yeah. Okay, so Jackie Chun versus Man Wolf. So this is our gag manga fight of the
yep.
of the arc, folks. This is where we get all again. It's a pretty tense and kind of serious arc, but we have like 2 bits of gag manga fare within this. This is like the main gag manga,
Yeah, well, technically, because remember, the Fortune Teller Bob arc did not have a Wolfman in it.
That's true.
So this kind of makes up for it.
Yep.
It's like I was like, wait, I need to include a Wolfman somewhere.
See, like Jackie Chun, again, Jackie Chun has much better success with the ladies than Master Roshi does, oddly enough. But
if only he was more like Jackie Chun in his normal self, he would have so much more luck.
Yeah. So Tien notices that Man Wolf, he has an intense hatred for Jackie Chun, which is why he kind of puts the fight together. Basically, so Tien orchestrates this fight because he wants to see Jackie Chun in action, because he knows that as far as Tien's concerned, of all the fighters, Jackie Chun's the only competition that he really has and that he wants to assess, so he knows like how to take him down. So that's why he wants to watch this fight. And then he learns Man Wolf has a grudge, so this will be kind of a learning opportunity to see how he kind of takes to someone who might want to kill him. So Jackie Chan ultimately, he toys around with Man Wolf, like basically in his very bull in a china shop.
He's not a wolf man; he's a man wolf or something like that.
Yeah. So by the way, the when he explains the whole Man Wolf thing to the announcer, if you really pay attention, what he's saying doesn't make any sense, or at least it either doesn't make sense or it's like if
I actually had to turn on subtitles to even understand what he was saying some of the time.
really.
Oh, because his voice was just so gravelly. Yeah.
Eh? But yeah, so he's essentially the idea is that he explains that there's a werewolf is a man who turns into a wolf.
And a wolf man is someone who turns from some wolf into a man.
Yeah.
But when
well, no. I'm sorry, wolf. No, wolf man. That's what I'm saying. He's saying a wolf man is the werewolf essentially. So that's a man who turns into a wolf, but a wolf. Sorry, a man wolf turns from a wolf into a man.
Yeah, but he has it out for Master Roshi, and everyone's trying to find out not Master Roshi, but Jackie Chun. Everyone's trying to find out why. And I figure it's kind of easy to figure out immediately. But
yeah, he blew up the moon.
Yeah, and he can't transform back.
Now, admit it. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what doesn't make sense if you really think about it. Okay, we had like a little animated diagram when he's explaining this, and we saw we saw like the little graphic of the wolf turning into a man. So the logic would be the wolf is like the wolf turns into a fully human man, right?
I mean, I think that was just a diagram. I don't think it was meant to be him.
Well, no. I'm just saying. At the end of this, we turn him into a human man. So the question is, like, is that what his natural state's supposed to be? So how does he end up stuck as the man wolf that we see before? That's what I want to know. If he's saying that he's the other one,
it's like, well, maybe he transformed and then Roshi destroyed the moon.
all right.
I mean, I don't know, Direct.
I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure, like, we see him in like the little news clipping as like it was the Wolf Man. So it's a question of like, I don't know if we fully explained that really well in what we demonstrate in the anime or not. I'm not sure because it seems like, well, this is your natural state that you wanted to be in. Then I don't know. Either that or he transformed like dirt when the moon showed up. I guess maybe the idea is he transformed when the moon showed up, but still, it's the whole thing. It should be a man who turns into a wolf man. But I don't know.
Or maybe it's just that he wants the ability to change back after having been in a wolf form for so long.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Suggesting his natural state is the wolf, though. That's what doesn't track.
I don't know.
Anyway, the point being, just taking it at face value, the idea that the Wolfman is upset because now he's stuck as a wolf is a really great motivation for why he's so ticked off at Jackie Chan for blowing up the moon. It's a great consequence to what he's done. And he pulls a knife, he basically gets disqualified. He tries to kill Jackie Chan, and then he he feels bad, so he uses Krillin's head to hypnotize him into transforming back.
He uses Krillin's head as the moon.
Yep, and the cow jumped over Krillin's head.
That entire thing is just a total hand wave.
Yep, again, it's Toriyama just going with you. It's Toriyama just like, yeah, it's a gag manga, let's just go for it.
It's just like you'll think it's the moon and then you will transform back.
Yep. Okay, so here's kind of a blend of like a serious fight, but with a gag manga solution. We have Krillin versus Chiaotzu.
This is definitely kind of an interesting fight. Chiaotzu definitely went up against a good fight against Krillin. It's just too bad he doesn't know how to do math.
Well, so few of us do, Jacob.
I mean, I know how to count on my fingers at least.
Well, I know, but I'm saying we know how to count on our fingers. I'm saying he can't count without using his fingers.
Yep, he has to count using his fingers, but Krillin found out he has to use his hands to use his powers.
Yeah, so with this is a great fight. It pays off. Krillin's strength as a fighter is less the physical strength, is more his strategy and his cleverness in the middle of a fight. So he's outmatched 8 ways to Sunday with Chiaotzu. He uses telekinesis, and not only telekinesis, he uses the dreaded Dodon Ray, which of course is a light bulb for Goku and Tien there. So this is our big reveal. That this is the fight in which we reveal that oh my god, Dodon Ray, these guys are linked to Mercenary Tao.
And when we find out how, should we just explain it right off the bat?
It's one sec. Let's. I want to talk about the Krillin fight, and then we'll talk about Mercenary Tao. Okay.
All right, but yeah, that thing, he's connected to Mercenary Tao, but how is he? But fortunately, Krillin realized that if he gets hit by that, he's dead.
Yeah, so he uses he takes a gamble. He does his first Kamehameha wave, which again, had it been more ready for it, it would have taken Chiaotzu out. Like they would have won the match instantly. But so Chiaotzu's definitely the wind's been knocked out of his sails, but he's still flying. The Crane School with the bird adage, they are able to fly. I presume Lord Shen taught that Master Shen taught them how to fly.
Presumably, we never see. We do see him flying off, but not willingly.
True. So, anyway, so with that, Krillin almost wins the match. He ends up having to distract Chiaotzu's hands using hand use with math.
I'm afraid we'll have to use math.
So this is it's a gag. It's kind of a fun gag manga solution, but it's really clever on Krillin's part. It allows him the opportunity to strike, and he knocks Chiaotzu out of bounds. You want to see Chiaotzu get a whooping here, you kind of want,
especially after all the stuff he said to Krillin.
Yeah.
Some of which
so
stuff
we humbled Chiaotzu appropriately.
Yeah, but Master Shen is not happy.
So speaking of which, so this is where we get into the stakes. Now we have added stakes to the tournament. So Tien has learned Goku has kind of killed Mercenary Tao. Wasn't in his intent, but Tien doesn't really. He's not going to listen to the whole I kicked the grenade. He threw a grenade at me. What do you want me to do?
So, yeah, but then that ended up killing Mercenary Tao. But there's a more personal stake here than just Tien knowing who.
Not only was Tao Tien's idol, he was
Master Shen's brother.
Yeah, bum bum bum. So I love the brother idea. How do you feel about the brother idea on Lord Shen and on Master Shen and Mercenary Tao?
I mean, it's definitely kind of an interesting take. It definitely kind of adds a more personal connection, even if it is kind of even if Shen does mention that he hasn't seen his brother in years, and the last time they met, they weren't even on the best of terms. But just the fact that he's dead is an insult.
Yeah, I mean it's an insult just to the honor of the in quotes honor
of the Crane School.
Of the Crane School, but it's also I do like that with the brother idea. It's while convenient, mind you. Again, it's convenient, but it also explains how the heck is Shen and the Crane School so strong. Well, they're linked with Mercenary Tao, who's one of the strongest opponents Goku had gone up against at this point in time.
And fun fact, the name Lord Shen doesn't exist in the original Japanese version. It's purely a Funimation creation.
Really? Well, Master Shen. So
yeah, the name, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
From what I read, he's just called Crane.
Okay, so
Crane or Master Crane in Japanese.
Okay. Huh.
But so, yeah, Mercenary Tao is Mason now late brother.
So I like the one bit of humanity that Shen has is that he parted on bad terms with his brother, which he regrets, and it drives the revenge. Even if they're both terrible people, it's there is a little bit of okay, well, I like that we kind of had the artful the painted stills of their relationship as brothers and the fight that broke out, and the fact that we don't redeem them because of that, but we do add kind of there's a little bit of humanity there for Shen.
Yeah, it was so. Our relationship was so strained at the end. All it took was a bowl of spilled rice to tip us over the edge.
Yep. Which makes sense for Tao. Tao is very much, he would set off of the littlest thing.
Yep.
Like, hey, I made an outfit for you. You expect me to pay? Bam.
It's like you made an outfit for me. Isn't that payment enough?
God. So So in response to this, Shen tries to kill Goku in the dead of night, dressed as a ninja, and they're about to duke it out. But Tien stops this so he can avenge the Crane. The Crane School is and Tao in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Tien kind of is again. It's another kind of sign of his burgeoning conscience. Would you say?
I would say like it's.
I mean, it is kind of like
he's not quite doing this to save Goku though. He is doing this more so to
basically prolong his death, kind of thing.
Yeah, because I really do think that Tien did. We get into this in some other places. Well, we kind of get into some other places. There's somewhat of we call it back. So I don't want to mention until we get to the arc, but essentially, Tien did. He learned at the feet of Tao. Like Tao was there when he learned, presumably, and so he did.
He respected Tao.
He did. And again, Tao was his idol. He wanted to become an assassin because that's what Tao. He split off from the school to become an assassin. So to him, that is the high mark of success, where you've learned everything you've learned from Master Shen, and then you leave and become an assassin. Like that's your graduation day.
And considering later revelations, that does kind of also reveal that mercenary Tao was probably also a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, but I believe I can try to remember if Shen's. It should be his younger brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also interesting. Our masters have siblings. Master Roshi. It's fortune teller Baba, and.
I mean, and she's a lot nicer than Tao.
Well, yeah.
Even if she did stuff. I mean, the thing is, they both tried to kill Goku, but
yeah, it's all. They also like to float on. They like to fly on objects.
Yes.
Her with crystal balls, him with pillars.
Was that intentional on Toriyama's part? Who knows?
Yeah. Okay, so then we get to the Pompet fight. Now, this is the unsuccessful filler.
Like the almost Bollywood movie star.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he was meant to be Bollywood, but it's kind of what it reminded me of.
I mean, there's a Bollywood vibe. It's kind of a combination of Bollywood and Bruce Lee.
Yeah. He's never lost any of the fights he won. I mean, he never lost any of the fights he's ever been in. He's a successful movie star.
Yeah.
Even Bulma's conflicted about rooting for him.
Typical Bulma.
Yep.
Anyway, so basically, this just feels like it's like a running gag within the tournaments here, where Goku, the first fight that Goku's going to have, obviously he's going to win. So because of this, we kind of delay it to subvert. And unfortunately, we pull a very similar trick that we did with Giran. Goku fell asleep, and he was nearby, but he just fell asleep. So there was a bit of a scare, like, oh god, is Goku going to not make it in time? And we kind of pulled the same hat trick again, only we kind of delayed it. This is very much a killing time kind of fillery thing,
Where his promoter basically tricked Goku into thinking that the fight has been moved to another venue.
Yeah, and it's also designed to disguise the fact that, okay, look, we know the Pompet fight is going to last less than 5 seconds, so because of that, we have to really delay the episode.
Yep.
Yeah, so Pompet's a nothing fight. The best part about that fight is Tien, with his third eye, he clocks that Goku in seemingly one elbow to the chest. It's like actually 3 elbows. So Tien's kind of impressed.
He's beginning to think that maybe Goku is the one to look out for.
Yeah. The one thing I will give this filler, mind you, I'm reading into this based on the one moment we had way earlier on. Some people have kind of pointed this out. I don't know how accurate it is. I still like it. I would like to subscribe to this headcanon that, we've had 2 Goku and launch moments, and with both launches, in fact. there's there's a bit of a maternal thing going on there.
Yep, she's the one who saw him getting into the strange car,
Yeah,
and
like
and, and,
it's
like,
like
and she even while she was trying to basically cheat the ice cream guy, to she and then even basically stole the guy's scooter. Like, I'll trade you this ice cream. But like I said, even meme launch is fond of Goku.
that's what I've said. So I like that. Plus, I think honestly, I think she respects Goku because Goku like knocked her out by kicking her in the face that one time.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I love that that was linked to the other maternal launch moment. So I think about this. Okay, so blue hair launch, it's like an actual like potentially like maternal motherly kind of thing. Where like, okay, she tucks him in, kisses him on the forehead. Oh, isn't that cute?
And where's the blonde one with wakes him up by shooting him?
And then he kicks her, and then they become friends. Essentially, is the idea. I like to think like, okay, you're tough. I respect you now. And again, it's like so that's just really nice that she sees it's Mama Bear protecting the cub here. Is like, hey, Goku, this isn't right.
so she, so yep, she and basically stays behind to give the promoter a lesson.
Oh yeah,
We never see what the lesson is, but we probably is presume based on launch that it's not pretty.
well, I'm sure she either that or she basically threatened them until he handed over all the money.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so
Somebody has to pay for the ice cream.
well, yeah. Okay, so after the Pompet fight, we have Tien. Yep.
But the fight is, as you mentioned, was like over in one punch. Everybody's shocked that Pompet's just basically he lost his first fight and basically was over in an instant.
Yep. All right, so Tien versus Jackie Chun,
which is probably the first, but except for definitely the next serious fight in the tournament.
Yeah, this honestly even more than what we're about to have. The other one's going to be a big event, mind you, but it's still like this and our final fight are probably the standouts of the arc in terms of this is a centerpiece fight, and again we have expectation because we saw Jackie Chun go up against Goku as our finale,
and Jackie Chun won.
Exactly. So Jackie Chun is a force to be reckoned with, and we have an expectation. The fact that we're doing the Jackie Chun fight early and with against Tien, and we know Tien's like a tough customer, so this is interesting. You're wondering how is this going to turn out? Now I love that in this arc, and we saw in the preliminary, Roshi is having an existential crisis about Goku. We've been building this up for a while that he's noticed that Goku's progress, and he's become so strong in like ways that Roshi never expected any human person. Well, he's ultimately right that no human person could become that strong. Well, that's later though. That's retroactive.
Yep.
Is the fact that Roshi is kind of his goal in being Jackie Chun, which we establish is
but was to basically teach the boys humility.
Yeah. So he's at a disadvantage here because there's a good chance I think he's realized like, oh no, if I fight Goku, I'm definitely going to lose, and that's going to defeat the purpose of what I'm here to do.
Yep, but
I've kind of outlived my usefulness in a sense.
It's like a new age of fighters is coming in, basically. I mean, that's essentially what he says. Like a new age of fighters is on its way. It's like he doesn't want to go down without a fight. So
yeah. So in fighting Tien, he comes to a realization as well as like an opportunity here during the fight. So
he realizes that Tien is basically having almost an internal conflict within himself.
Yeah, he sees the conflict that Tien's having. He kind of preys upon that in a good way, and basically he sees like the opportunity to mentor him on the straight and narrow.
Basically, he realizes that Tien is basically a good person pretending to be a bad one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, it does. So Roshi sees a wrong that he needs to right, especially if this is potentially like his last fight, like potentially. And he sees this he sees the misguided Tien Shinhan. He wants to right that ship. So it's an amazingly even fight. Like, dear God, it is a very impressive hand-to-hand kind of bout.
And it's really ambiguous as to who actually would have won had it gone on, fully without either one backing down.
Yeah, and we have the first. This is big too. We have the first solar flare, which is a move that we see often in Dragon Ball Z. So this is the origin of it.
Yep, that and it was like, and I do kind of love the animation detail where like the people wearing sunglasses weren't looking away, where the people who where the people who didn't have them on were like shielding their eyes.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like that detail, and it's also kind of subtle foreshadowing if you think about it.
These are the details I love though. I love that like we have like the arm lock where where Jackie Chan's almost being knocked out of the ring, but he is like gripping on the Tien. This is kind of a foreshadow for what Goku does. And again, Goku sees this, and I don't know if maybe he filed it away or was like an improv in the moment, but again, we're seeing Jackie Chan is like locking in the Tien, so he cannot be. It's like almost like that wrestling. Like, I don't know. It's like called a suplex, or whatever. The thing is when you like you dig into the yeah.
Like where you're basically like you like go up under their arms from behind and like lock their arms and lock your arms behind their head.
Like the half Nelson or whatever.
That's called the half Nelson, but the suplex is like pulling them and like knocking and like pulling them down with it.
Right. So it's the fact that he's in a position where again it'll be extremely painful. He can't move without taking him with him, and it's just the fact that like Jackson's just kind of headbutting him too, which is just really awesome.
Yep.
So he gets in Tien's head and he's steering him away from the assassin goal, and then Tien, thanks to Shen, using essentially we've established this in the 21st where if the mind is open to it, or at least a martial arts master can basically they can kind of speak telepathically to you, which is a buy, but it's like, these guys are very in tune spiritually, so I don't know, there's a chance.
And long story short, they find out that he's actually Master Roshi.
Yeah, I want to say this too. We also had the thing with like Korin really established that you can reading minds is easy if you've been around, you know how to do it. So it does stand to reason.
Yep. So they all established it. They all find out that he's Master Roshi.
Yep, but again, without like spelling it out to everybody, and like Goku and Krillin, they're not really hearing what's going on per se. They're not really picking up on it
because they can't read minds.
Yeah. So it is. So let's see. So the point being, so the Tien is like he's like now tossing aside what Roshi's saying, learning that he is like he's not Jackie Chan, is actually Roshi, and this is like basically he feels like okay, this is a manipulation. So then.
Whereas like Roshi points out like I may have been lying to you about me being Roshi, but that doesn't make many of my words less true.
So then Tien, just to add insult to injury here, he just to really kind of like rub it in, he uses a very reckless Kamehameha wave, which is impressive that he's able to pull that off, and he just pretty much saw the move like for the first time at this tournament.
Kind of pulling a Goku.
Yeah. Which does track, given how proficient Tien is.
Yep.
So he uses it's a reckless Kamehameha wave, and Chun tries to warn him about this, or basically he does the Kamehameha wave, and he would have hit the audience. And again, this is a foreshadow for a big event in Dragon Ball Z, by the way, of like the energy attacks in the World Martial Arts Tournament potentially being very dangerous.
And then, which thankfully in this case, Jackie Chun deflects it.
Yeah, well, he basically absorbs it. One could say I think he absorbed it. He caught it in his hands.
And didn't he like redirect it into the air too?
I guess he did. He caught it and then he redirected. So I guess he did redirect it. But yeah, so he stops it so it doesn't hurt the crowd, which does take the wind out of him. But then we have this amazing moment. I don't think anyone saw it coming. This amazing moment of Jackie Chun.
Go on.
Jackie Chun, he denies Tien the victory by essentially retiring in the ring.
He forfeits the fight.
He forfeits the fight. He just walks out, and Tien knows like that fight wasn't over. He had more in him, and he'll never know like if he would have won now. Basically,
it's denying Tien the satisfaction of victory.
Yeah, he wounds Tien's pride, knowing that Tien knowing that he didn't beat him, and again, all for the purpose of teaching him. And Roshi definitely has a plan here of basically making Tien his replacement. So he talks. So Roshi initially toys with Tien after the match. We have this hilarious thing where he gives him he blows his nose, he gives it to Tien. This is all I can give you. It's awesome. which is really funny. And just again, he's just kind of toying with Tien is to prove a point of like, you're seeking answers that you already know.
There's basically nothing to tell him.
Yeah. So I love so in the whole arc, and by the way, I love that while this conversation is going on, we're intercutting it with Goku versus Krillin, which we'll get to in a second. But the whole Goku versus Krillin fight, because ultimately, in Roshi explaining why he did the whole Jackie Chun thing, we should see like again the purpose of why he's doing it going on in the background. So it was a really good editing kind of thing there. So Roshi explains to Tien that like it or not, you're my replacement because if you beat Goku, you're doing my work. You're the rival. I trust you're going to do this. And I think what really gets Tien, and this is where really kind of the beginning of his arc really happens. The beginning of his change really happens. Tien has this unwavering support from his master's enemy when his own master doubts him, and later on, like that's the last straw when his other master, cheats and just like shows that he has no faith in Tien's abilities.
Like basically, he got more appreciation from his supposed rival than his own teacher,
which is very interesting, and it's very strong writing.
Yes, and but he doesn't even realize it until that point. He's like, Tien just goes through a bunch of internal struggles, like basically trying to like figure out what Master Roshi meant.
Yep.
And basically trying to piece together the enigma that is Master Roshi's teachings. I mean, Master Roshi definitely has a strange way of getting people to realize his points, but they work.
I mean, at least they didn't put Tien in lingerie.
Yes, thank God for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the ladies would have loved that, but thank God for that. Launch would have liked it.
She probably would.
Like, that's the only way you're going to get Launch to put on that outfit willingly.
If Tien was doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Anyway.
You're probably right.
So Goku versus Krillin. This is a big fight in the making. People wanted to see for a while. Ever since we introduced Krillin, a lot of people thought the first martial arts tournament might end up being that, and we didn't do that. So this is very much like giving the people what they want. There's actually a Funko of the moment that precedes this, where like Goku and Krillin do the fist bump,
which is awesome.
So again, given what happens at the end of this story, this fight has even more resonance than the fact that knowing what we're going to do with Krillin at the end of this, we have to give him this fight. We have to give him this opportunity to really. This is the fun of the tournament. This is why Goku is in the tournament. So he has the opportunity to fight his friend, to really show how much they've grown and learned. And Krillin impresses him, I think.
It's like, and I love how how like their friends are like constantly flipping back and forth on who to root for. Like one moment they're rooting for Goku, the next moment they're the same person's rooting for Krillin, and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
Because they don't want to choose between their friends basically.
And we know Bulma's rooting for Goku. I mean, come on.
I mean, she also tried to be fair to Krillin, but
she did. But at the end of the day, come on.
Yep. It's like
she tried kicking him in the lava.
It's like, remember when this? Like, oh, never mind. I'll save this. I'll save what I was going to say for later.
Good.
All right, but yeah. So, and the entire fight was kind of interesting. It didn't go. This is a very well paced fight. It didn't go on for very long. I mean, there was the point where Krillin grabbed his tail, which you think is like, oh no, Goku's done for. But then he's like, I worked it out.
But by the way, so real quick, I love that moments like that. Krillin is using strategy in the fight, and one of my favorite subtle details, when Krillin avoids the Kamehameha wave earlier on, he does like he inflates his body in kind of a gag manga move.
Yep.
Now Goku did the less gag manga version of that, going up. I think it was going up against King Choppa, where he basically slowed his descent by controlling his breath. So that's essentially what Krillin's doing here. So he's learning from what he's seen earlier on from Goku.
Yeah, except Krillin, was able to inflate himself.
Well, yeah, we just said that. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, like, I kind of wanted to see Goku do that too.
So then he goes for the tail weakness, which we reveal thanks to Grandpa Gohan. In the Force of the Baba Saga, Goku's learned that, Grandpa told me I got to train that tail, and I love that we quickly see how he did train his tail, or basically swing with the monkeys, and the monkeys are pulling on his tail.
Yep, he got used to people grabbing onto his tail.
which is great. Like, it's a wonderful reveal. Like, all right, because again, going into this tournament, I think we were all worried. Like, oh no, what if someone grabs that tail?
I mean, and considering Goku's literally based off kind of a monkey character, it kind of makes sense for him to train with monkeys.
Yep. So Goku ultimately he delivers 8 punches to Krillin, then kicks him out of the ring.
Yeah,
Lightning fast, like no one sees it.
but to everyone, it just looks like Goku pulled a funny face, going like, "Blah!" and Krillin just got scared and flew out of the ring.
Now remember, he used the after image technique he learned from Master Chin in the filler to do this.
Oh yeah,
He did like the ultimate after image technique.
it is kind of interesting how they actually show Goku learning these things, and instead of just revealing them out of nowhere in the manga, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, don't there's still great reveals in the
I,
manga, but you know.
I know, but here it actually like kind of like, oh yeah, that's where he's like, oh yeah, that kind of he actually shows how he learned them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So again, this is what the tournament's all about. Goku and Krillin having a fun time. Even though you do get the sense Goku was probably holding back just the scope so he didn't reveal all of his tricks to Tien.
Battle strength.
Yeah, his battle strength. He didn't give him the
and
battle strength yet.
he also didn't want to probably hurt Krillin too much either.
Well, exactly. He's again like Tien can take it. That's the difference.
And Krillin's also his friend.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings us to Goku versus Tien. We're in the final match. This is big. Tien, he's again. Tien has gone through quite the arc. To this fight. And he's finally facing an equal after this whole time. Goku is the equal that he's going up against, and we have like round one, and we have the basically round one is like Goku not using the battle strength, in which that's him assessing his opponent. So Tien gets all of his hits in, and we have like the volleyball technique,
which is brutal.
Yes, but Goku just gets right back up, and then he announces, "Okay, I'm gonna use my battle strength now."
And then Tien's like, "Huh?"
Yep. Again, the fact that again this battle is like 5 episodes, and my God, it is a very impressive. Like we dragged this fight out for 5 episodes, and I mean I don't want to be clear. I have to be very careful when I say drag this fight out because we're going to get the arcs down the line which are actually dragged out. This is not dragged. This is like a fight that's a big fight, and it's
yeah, like some 5-minute arcs.
Yeah, like the Jackie Chun fight is in 3 acts. Now Tien is like it's 3 acts, but we also have like 2 surprises. So that's the thing. So we have kind of like it's really done in like 3 parts, but we have like a reveal, and then we have like the oh god, where do we go now? Like seemingly Goku has been destroyed, and then we're going to reveal what happened to him. So that's more of like the reveal than it is like the ending.
Yep. I know.
Anyway, so it's 5 episodes with and not that we're wasting time. It's 5 episodes in which stuff happens, and like every punt, you're on the edge of your seat. It's like they're kind of going 5 rounds in a sense.
It's like basically the favorite battle switches back and forth between like, okay, now Tien's in command. Now it's Goku.
I love so in round 2 here. I love that Goku saves. We see this. We make a mental note of it. Goku saves his Kamehameha wave for later, and it pays off gloriously.
because he knew that Tien would just dodge it and it would leave Goku vulnerable.
And we see Goku has been learning from what he's been watching during the fights. And I love that we make fun of Krillin here. So the Goku uses Master Roshi's sunglasses to deflect from the solar flare.
It's like I borrowed them from Roshi. Yeah, like where'd you get those glasses? Borrowed.
And then Krillin's like, wait, I've never seen you without your glasses before. You look kind of familiar. So maybe you should start watching the fights instead of watching me. Yes, Master. So that's great. So again, Goku's been watching these fights. Krillin's been kind of asking the story questions. Like, wait a minute. So he protects against the solar flare. And then so Chiaotzu, under the instruction of Shen, has been ordered to cheat. And this is very despicable, where Goku's basically being paused mid-fight as Tien is like wailing on him very brutally.
Honestly, I'm surprised that once Launch and the other characters figured out what was going on, they didn't try to interfere. They didn't try to say to the announcer like, "Hey, there's interference going on here."
Well, it took them a while to figure it out, though.
I know, but once they did, they just tried to. Nobody said anything.
I think they were about to, though, weren't they?
I think they were, but then it's like, well, Launch was about to basically hit Chiaotzu with a mallet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
but But then
Then
Shen,
she gets flung out of she gets flung out of the ring.
like with one finger by Shen.
God,
Like the mallet's this huge, like cartoonishly large mallet.
poor launch.
And then like he just stops her with one finger and then launches her away.
Ah,
That's a powerful finger.
yeah.
But again, it also is
See, when he gives you a finger, it hurts.
But it's also another reminder that he's not a person to be trifled with.
No. All right, let's see. So, so this is great. So again, this whole time Goku's like calling him a cheater and everything. Tien's like thinks, "What are you, brain addled? How do you think I'm, of a cheater?" It's like don't excuse your own weakness. And then he notices. Finally, he notices that it's like Shen's like telling, "Yes, Tien, finish him." And he's like, he basically puts two and two together, like, "Oh no, Chiaotzu's like he's cheating for me during this match, and this is not how he wants to win." And again, it really hurts his pride that his master had no faith in him to actually win this battle, and that's where Tien's honor that has been there the whole time really comes out thanks to Master Roshi really kind of like explained to him like you've been misled. This is not the way you want to do it. You're not a killer. And he makes the decision right there and then, like, no, I'm not going to be an assassin. I'm going to win this fight.
He's gonna win it. He's gonna win it fair.
Yep. And then Shen gets really incensed.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Shen gets really incensed. He's gonna hurt Chiaotzu if and then Tien is like, oh, he's about to really do something bad to Chiaotzu, and Tien possibly kill him. We don't know. He's gonna hurt him really bad. He's gonna kill him.
And then Master Roshi takes matters into his own hands by basically Kamehameha waving Shen away.
What was your reaction to this moment?
It's like I thought it was like about damn time.
The coolest thing ever, right? Like we just launch him out of the story after being such a bad person.
And then you see him twinkle in the sky. It's like don't worry, he'll be fine.
I love that. Just, no, he's gonna be fine. You two get back to the fight. He'll be fine.
He can take it.
He can. He's been around for 300 years. He's fine.
Yeah, it's like he's clearly shown that he's invulnerable.
We saw what he did to launch. He can. It's fine. It's karma. It's fine.
Yep. She got, pun intended, launched into a wall.
Yep. We launched him into about 3 years in the future.
Yep. He'll come down at the next term. He's like, wait, where am I?
Yep.
It's like, wait. Who's that taller kid that looks like that one kid?
Yep.
He has the same hair, but he's like 3 feet taller.
Exactly.
And wait, why is Tien with the turtle hermit?
Yeah.
It's like, what's going on here?
Okay, so then this is I love the classy thing here where Tien gives basically allows Goku to get some hits in to even them out, to get them at the same level. It's a very honorable thing that he does. He just lets Goku get in all these hits, gives him a bunch of freebies.
But then he starts fighting him for real. Like really lets loose.
And we have the multi-arm technique.
Of the four witches.
Yes.
Isn't that what it's called? Like the four witches?
I don't know. I just
I know it's something to do with witches.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Because I don't think it's named in the anime. I don't know if it is or not.
I mean, I know it's.
Are you pulling that from the manga, or did you hear it in the anime?
I heard it in the anime.
Okay, well, I missed it then. You're right. That might be right. It's like I don't know if it's witches though. It's like the four something.
Yeah, it's the four witches technique.
Okay, it's the four witches technique. The point being, the four witches technique. It's a very striking visual, and it's a heck of a cliffhanger in terms of breaking between the episodes. Like Tien has just grown 2 extra arms, and we're all freaked out. And then we're gonna check in next time.
Next time on Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
But apparently in Japanese it's called Four Supernatural Fists.
Okay.
But for the four witches technique does sound cool though.
Yeah.
But he literally grows 2 extra arms, which is like, okay, like when you see his like shoulder blades protruding, you're like wondering what could he be possibly doing? But then he transforms, and you're like, oh my god.
It's pretty shocking, right?
Yeah, not just like this the usual technique of them like moving their bodies, then moving their arms so fast that it looks like multiple arms, like Goku does in a moment.
Yeah.
But it's literally him growing 2 extra arms, which I don't think he literally ever does again.
Yeah.
Unless, well, not in Z anyway. Well, maybe he does. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out.
And by that, by your reaction, I'm assuming that means he does.
I don't want to give any. Look, just it'll be explained soon. All right, just.
Well, that already tells me that it does happen.
Yeah. Anyway.
But he doesn't use it that often.
Right.
But it is good. But when he pulls out his 4 arms, it gets serious. Like when he's holding Goku above his head and slamming him into his own head.
Yeah, and then he's like, yeah, he's holding by all the limbs, and then Goku uses the tail to slap him in the face.
Yep, I was even like, come on, use your tail, Goku.
Yep.
I mean, I know these are fictional characters, but these are kind of the things that make you want to get into it and like yell at the TV screen.
But
like,
isn't that the magic trick? You're so invested, you probably know how it's going to turn out. At least for the most part, you want it. You're rooting for the boy.
Yep, want to be proud of the boy.
Yep.
So he's like, but that results in you like getting invested and like yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
Being like, use the tail. And he does.
Yep. So this then leads Goku to again using kind of his speed to grow 8 arms, and then do like kind of like a mini Twister sort of thing.
And it's obvious. It's never said in the anime, but it is explained that it is kind of obvious that he's just moving his arms really fast.
Yeah. Still impressive.
It is impressive. And he's not to mention the fact that he tries to use the afterimage technique on Tien, and he is much harder to spot, but even then Tien still manages to spot him.
So then we have this really impressive thing where Goku kind of has him in like a hold where, it's good. Again, I still like to think that he's pulling this from the Jackie Chun fight where, Tien was really on the ropes when, he basically pulled due to Goku's height, which again was the detriment to Goku in the Jackie Chun fight. In the final match of the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, he's kind of using it to his advantage. From Tien he has to lose the extra arms because he can't strangle Goku, and he basically is at Goku's mercy when he's pulling his legs pretty much out of their socket using his strength.
But ultimately, it doesn't work out.
Yeah. So, anyways, but Tien's out of tricks. So, he has one trick left.
Oh, but one that'll basically put him close to death.
Yeah, so he floats up and he does the tri-beam. And this is big. I remember the tri-beam. This does come back in Z. So he uses the tri-beam, which is like his big signature technique.
Even Chiaotzu, I forget, was Chiaotzu excited for it, or was he like, Tien, no?
I don't know. I think he was a little either he was cocky not cocky, he was confident like it's over or something like that, but I don't know. Maybe he was in. I don't know. You tell me. So did he look frightened?
Like I'm trying to remember what Chiaotzu's reaction was. Like he probably was like, "Or like if you use that, you'll die," kind of thing.
It's brutal.
So yeah, Tien does warn Goku beforehand.
I love that detail. I love that. It's not my intention to kill you, Goku. So I'm going to warn you. What the next move I'm going to do? Avoid it.
Yep,
which is intimidating as all get out, by the way. Of like, I don't want to kill you, so be careful. Basically warning you're probably gonna want to give up right now from what I'm about to do.
But then, basically, he lets out probably the most insane beam seen up to this point, and we've seen Master Roshi destroy the moon.
Yes, so the entire arena has been completely it's just a gaping. It's a giant. It's not even that it's gone. It's a giant gaping hole. It's like Midland. It's like the Midland Circle thing from Daredevil. it's like the hole that goes on forever.
Yeah, they're thinking that Goku's just straight up been evaporated.
Yep, seemingly killed or gone, and then we reveal awesomely Goku. He jumped up really high at the last second, and Tien's impressed, but is at a position now where I love how civil he's being. Where Goku, you've lost the fight. Whoever hits the ground first, and I can fly.
It's like, but then Goku uses like the Kamehameha wave to get a little higher than Tien.
I love Goku. I love Tien just getting a little petty. Like, are you gonna use that stupid trick again?
It's like, and then he uses it to like headbutt him and then get a little bit higher.
Yep, which is just it's a really clever. It's an awesome moment. The idea, okay, Goku yet again, he's in a position like this where it's going to be. He basically pulls, it's kind of a kamikaze move of sorts, where I'm going to take us both out. It's the question of who lands first.
Yeah, and that's basically what happens.
And how did you feel about this, Jacob, when you saw the like the move here and like what the result of it?
Well, the move itself was kind of an ingenious move on Goku's part. Like,
Yeah,
no, it's like it was kind of like him utilizing strategy himself in a way. Like, like if I can't, like I have to make sure he falls before me, so I'm going to elevate myself a little bit.
Yep.
But things when they get closer to the ground, it could go either way. I think it could go either way. It could go either way. Something's going to happen.
I just think it's so awesome. Like we're tracking like the POV of the fall, where it's like, oh god, they're going to like Mach 10, and they're slingshotting like into the ground somewhere. But then like just by a mere second,
Goku gets hit by a truck.
Yep, he gets hit by a truck. He lives, but he gets hit by a truck, and he basically because of that he hits the ground first. So he pretty much had him, and then he lost.
Yep, due to technicality.
Again, for the second time, he's basically lost to a technicality.
Yep. But to be fair, this is probably a more fair victory than it was against Jackie Chun.
Yeah, but it's interesting though. Goku, his two losses so far, they are like the two ways you can lose the tournament, which is like like the 10 count and the
ring out.
Yeah. So this essentially was the ring out. But again, it's like not just a ring out. It's like what's the most amazing, impressive way we could ever do a ring out? So that's how
falling from the sky
and surviving being hit, but like slamming into a truck at Mach 10.
I mean, that's probably. Dragon, let's be honest though. Him hitting a truck at Mach 10 is probably the least painful thing to happen to him in this fight so far.
That is true. So again, and then we have this really this really beautiful moment where everyone rallies and it's kind of like a rock the end of a Rocky where they all go to him and they lift him up by the shoulders and like Tien starts to get fans and he's it's like there's this big guy like lifts him up so the champion shouldn't walk.
And I'm don't worry, I'm your biggest fan.
Which is Jacob, I'm gonna sound all schmaltzy here, but why rewatch that? It's like, oh my god, that is so nice. It's such a cute, like he is as big as he's a huge guy, and it's the fact Tien's like and like Roshi's like telling you have to get used to this feeling. People are gonna actually like you for a change.
It's like, do you hear those voices, Tien? They're for you.
Yeah,
and like. People are actually going to like you for a change.
It's a beautiful end to Tien's arc. He's really come around.
I mean, that's what I meant earlier when I said like Tien's growth was the highlight of this arc.
Yeah.
I mean, the fights were obviously awesome, but seeing Tien grow from like being this cocky wannabe assassin mercenary type, to basically realizing that he doesn't want to do that anymore. He wants to. Be on his own terms.
It's basically Tien goes from wanting to be mercenary Tao to wanting to be a non-pervy version of Master Roshi. That's essentially what his arc is.
He wants to go from being mercenary Tao to being Tien Shinhan.
Yeah.
He wants to be himself.
Yeah.
He like I said, he was just a bad guy pretending to be a good guy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
then we have
and at the end, Goku basically gives him a smile after the victory's over.
Yeah, like they're in a good place. They have become friends now. They've kind of forgiven and forgotten. I mean, I'm sure Goku's still a little bummed out about Nam, but again, Nam is going to live. But hopefully, Nam will be able to fight again. But.
And Goku's still not upset over losing.
Yeah, because again, he had fun. He gave it his all. Again, it's not about winning or losing for Goku. He kind of wanted to win, but it's not a deal breaker.
I mean,
he really just wanted a rematch with Jackie Chun. So this is the next best thing.
He still made it to second place 2 times in a row. So
yeah, it's not bad.
Nope. And Tien even offers to give him half the prize money.
Which was a really top-notch gesture on Tien's part. But Goku doesn't need money. He does need food, however.
which Krillin points out, like, well, you'll be spending half that money after all.
Which is adorable. So by the way, so Tien again, we offer him like learning under Master Roshi, but it's like the thing. I don't think we're allowed to switch like masters like that. So I'm going to go my own. I'm going to go my own way.
Which Launch tries to convince him to say, like, I promise I won't cook.
I'll wear the lingerie.
Like, she didn't actually say that.
No, we all wish she did though. But no,
but she's like, I promise I won't cook. I mean, it was after like Master Roshi or somebody made fun of her cooking.
Yeah.
But then she's like, I promise I won't.
Oh, she really likes that Tien Shinhan.
Yep, she does. Which is adorable.
She loves a guy with good vision.
Yep, he has 30-30 vision.
I don't know. Is that how that works?
I mean, I don't know how 20.
Oh wait, it's in two. Wait, is it? So if it's two eyes, that's where the 20 comes from. 10-10. So it would be. 30. I guess it'd be 30.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I was just pulling a number out. I was just making a joke. I don't know if that's.
I guess that's accurate.
So he has 30-30 vision.
All right. I'm not going to question
it. Or is it, or to just be 20-20-20 vision?
I don't
know. Let's just go with 20-20-20 vision.
All right. So, okay, so
yeah, go on.
Okay, so they're about to. So basically, they're about to do this nice victory dinner that Tien Shinhan's footing the bill for.
But Goku realizes he forgot his Dragon Ball and Power Pole.
Yes, Krillin.
And his Krillin also, who also lent him his clothes because his clothes got all torn.
Yep. So, and that's a really nice detail too for what's about to happen. That he will be carrying kind of a piece of Krillin with him throughout the next run of the story, in a sense. So that's nice.
It's like Krillin. He sees Krillin run off into the distance to get his gear.
And I love this. That Goku has kind of a premonition. Now, this I'm convinced. Now, mind, this is all retroactive, so I think it's just more like symbolic here. But in the grand scheme of things, this is the first time Goku's sensing a power level. I'd like to think.
Maybe.
I think so. Yes, I think that he senses something's off here. I think that's like he senses something really powerful coming in the distance. And I think that's why later on, he has like that.
Everyone refuses to eat until Krillin shows up. Until they vote to just eat. But Goku, for once, isn't hungry, and
because he knows in his gut, which he trusts, and knows always never steer him wrong. He knows that something's wrong, and then he has like this horrible premonition where, again, I'd like to think it's because Goku has like finely tuned senses and everything. He hears like in the distance. Krillin, yes. So we reveal. So Goku, in terror, he runs all the way back to the to the tournament,
and he finds the announcer on the floor, terrified, and then next to him, Krillin, dead.
So this is big, Jacob. I've been building this up to you here. Where yes, we did kill off Krillin way before.
I mean, I already knew that.
You knew he died here?
Yes, I knew he died. I knew he died at least once before.
Okay, well, this was the. Did you know it was here though?
Not specifically.
Well, yeah. So this was it. This was the first. This was a big moment. Did we kill off Krillin?
Yep. He finds him. I mean, we've seen people die and be wished back before, but this is like of the first main character, the main hero to explicitly die.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's also in the grand scheme of things, the characters that we kill off in Dragon, DBZ. Like again, that's Goku in adulthood dealing with loss, which again ultimately is easily rectified. This is the first time we've really we've killed a child, a fellow child. This is like a My Girl situation with fighting. His buddy is dead.
Yep. But that's that's how the arc ends.
Yep, so Krillin's been killed, the Dragon Ball has been stolen, and also the tournament roster list has been taken.
But by who?
Excellent question. So Krillin's murderer is on the loose, and Goku's going to have feelings about that.
And Goku's definitely going to want to get even.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What seemingly ended up on a high note ended with Krillin dying.
which again was a twist I don't think anyone saw coming, and it definitely hooks you into what the heck is going to happen next.
I mean, it literally just almost comes out of nowhere. Like, it's like, everything's all happy and smiles, then Krillin's dead.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
This is the moment. That's what I'm saying. Going forward for a while,
Like,
at least.
like,
This is
like,
where
like,
we're like the gag manga humor. Enjoy it while it lasted.
like the image of like Goku like cradling Krillin's head as his eyes are just blankly staring.
Yeah, but again, we Goku rarely has had to deal with loss. Where we've had the Grandpa Gohan, which we've seen like how happy and overjoyed he was to be reunited with them, and he was his dead son bringing Bora back, and he felt personally responsible. And imagine how responsible Goku's going to feel about this, Jacob. About he sent Krillin to go get his stuff, and
I
he
mean,
kind of knew in that moment that something felt off, but he didn't pursue that feeling.
it's like Krillin was basically insisting. He's like, "No, Goku, you go do it. You won, basically."
Yep.
And like, "I'll go do it for you."
Yeah.
Krillin was just being a good friend.
Yeah.
I mean, even after their fight, back to their fight, like even after their loss, Krillin didn't mind losing either. Like he gave it his all against Goku and stood his own.
Yeah. He fought Goku and lived.
Yeah,
Well,
and
for a while.
and they even like agreed to share tips after, like share their techniques afterwards.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're basically they've moved on to the point where they're not just friends, but they're basically brothers.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like basically Goku does amass a lot of friends or like allies across the.
Krillin's always going to be his bestie. Krillin is going to
Yep.
easily be his best friend. To the
I mean,
end
that's
of
why I
time.
said like he makes a lot of friends and allies, but Krillin, he's his best friend.
Yeah.
Basically to the point, like I said, they're basically brothers.
Absolutely.
All right, so that was definitely quite a way to end the arc.
Yep.
So Dragon, what was a Dragon? While we were fighting, I actually went and looked into that giant hole,
Yeah.
and you'll be surprised what I found in there.
What did you find?
A little round orange thing with 5 stars on it.
Hey, getting the 5-star treatment. It's a Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah. So we're collecting our own balls.
You got 5 down, guys. Just 2 more to go.
We're almost there.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna wish for.
I think I have an idea too.
Yeah.
All right. So Dragon, any last thoughts before
Well,
I close this out?
Well, again, let's thank Little Blue and Kogias Anime Fan for tuning in.
Like, and well, to answer, and if, Little Blue, if you're still here to answer this question, 7. At least for this one.
Yeah.
Kogias, talking about like Tien's one of my favorite characters because of the infamous parachute line in one of the dubs. Also noticing he doesn't like shirts very much.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, you can pull it off. Literally. A lot of my Dragon Ball knowledge comes from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Evolution, although I think I saw a little bit of Dragon Ball when I was younger.
Right.
You can basically discount Evolution, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever dub is Tien's parachute line is the funniest dub. It's one of my favorite lines. Is that the Funimation dub, Dragon, if you know?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know which Funimation dub because there are a couple times they've kind of gone back over it. So I mean, I don't know which one it is, but yeah, probably.
All right.
Like I don't know if it's the Orange Brick one. I don't know if it's the because again the parachute line is probably in the Saiyan Saga. I just don't know if it's in the uncut version. There's the uncut version. I don't think it's in it's probably in the original and not the uncut. So whichever the first Funimation dub is, that's probably where the parachute is. I think, unless assuming it is the Funimation dub. I don't know if it's like if it sounds like this Tien, then it's the Funimation dub. If it's a different like kind of like if the tone of the voice is off, that's a different. That's probably Ocean.
Yep. So the end of this arc is definitely where things got real.
Oh yeah, so this was quite the adventure. It was another solid entry to the tournament. The tournaments, I'm going to tell you this: all 3 tournaments are still fantastic. Some of the best of Dragon Ball. But while again, This one we could have trimmed it a little bit. It's still very strong in terms of the characterization, and it's an adventure.
It's like, remember when there's just a simple story about a boy with a tail grew up on a mountain going on an adventure with a bratty teenage girl wished for a boyfriend?
Oh, I do. We've gone a long way past that, my friend.
Yep, remember those good days?
Yeah.
Like, those days are long gone.
Yep.
All right, so shall we take us out then?
Yeah.
All right. After a long and well-fought match with his enemy-turned-friend, Tien Shinhan, what should be a celebration turns to despair as Goku finds his best friend Krillin dead. Who is responsible for his death? All signs point to an evil thought to be long gone, and one who will be Goku's most fearsome adversary yet, Demon King Piccolo. What is Piccolo after? Can he even be stopped? Find out next time on Journey into Dragon Ball.